International Women's Day continues to be a powerful platform globally that unifies tenacity and drives action for gender parity, while celebrating the social, cultural, and economic achievements of women. This year, the Parliament Channel highlights women in Trinidad and Tobago. From all walks of life, including non-traditional sectors, we take a look at their journey, the challenges that were overcome, successes celebrated, and milestones achieved.
Hi, I'm Susie Young and I'm captain of the Trinidad and Tobago Chinese Steel Ensemble. The Chinese Steel Ensemble was formed in 2006. It was celebrating the 200-year arrival of the first Chinese immigrants into Trinidad and Tobago. So celebrating that 200 years, there were a number of things put together to celebrate that year. And so one of the groups was the steel band, as well as the dragon boat. I got involved in, as in all other musical instruments that I have been exposed to, through my mother, who first bought a tourist type, not the little ones, but a tourist style pan home for me when I was a child. Fooled around a little bit, subsequently had exposure in secondary school, St. Joseph Convent, Port of Spain, started a steel band, of which Jit Samaru, the late Jit Samaru, was a teacher. I went away to study, came back, and was invited to play with a small group that came out of Royal Bank at the time. I have never approached anything halfway. So it's not like I was determined to play for Panorama. I just wanted to play pan. I enjoy music. I loved the experience. It was a challenge. So I started playing, and from the first year that I played, now in those days it was very a closed community, especially in Phase 2 Panyard. And again, I'm not exposed to that, so I really didn't know. It was difficult because my father at the time, he wasn't too for the idea that I was going to Panyard to play, more particularly so that it would be Phase 2. So we sat down and we had a little discussion, which I have to say, during my lifetime, my parents have always been that support, and we always discuss things. I was already adult, but he didn't say, they've never said, no, you can't. It's just, and that's again, maybe being female. I have 3 sisters. I had 3 sisters. Dad never said, girls don't do this. Girls, this is for girls, this is for boys. He never limited us. He never limited me. But in those days, that was, and especially coming from a Chinese family, or if you want to say an Asian family, because most Middle Eastern families, most Eastern families, you know, the boys are the gold beads. So the girls, not so much, but Dad never limited. He just said, listen, I'm not sure if I want you in that environment. You know the situation there, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, what you're exposed to. I said, but Dad, you have to trust that you brought me up a certain way, and I'm going to make the proper choices, you know. So he said, okay. And that was my first year. And from the first year I started with Phase 2, Boogsy took a liking to how I played, what I played, you know. And I had found out, not the hard way. I didn't take the hard road, obviously, because I was not exposed to others. But in a band like that, I am sure all the top bands, Renegades, Neil and Marcy, all the top bands, Despas, it's hard to make a stage side, to play Panorama. When I first came in, it was not a challenge for the men that were qualifying for the side. I was new and I was just an outsider, and whether I could make it or not, that's left to be seen. But when he picked me for my first Panorama, I really did not know the ins and outs. In fact, I got picked for the first preliminaries. I didn't know what to do. And what happened was somebody else went and took the pan and went on stage and played. I basically spent my first Panorama riding on the rock across the stage. That was my first experience. And then, of course, you get to learn. Now, this didn't just end in the first year. 4 years, 5 years, we're going into this. And I'll notice they have some of the fellows that turning up. They come in anytime for practice, or they skip in practice. I come in every night, 8 o'clock. Sometimes I even spend 8 o'clock, from 8 o'clock in the night to 8 o'clock in the morning. Stand up there, you see the sun come up, your brain tired, you're falling asleep, 2 o'clock, Boogsy now starting to give you music. And it's like, I'm just telling myself, pretend it's 5 o'clock in the evening. Your brain's still working. You see the Fatima boys looking over the fence, you know, coming to school, and you still there playing pan. It's like, okay, you're fortunate enough to be able to experience this. Let's just do this. So I think all of that, I earned the respect of the pan men from Feast. Since that time, we've had a number of Japanese women come into the band, and it's much easier now to get into it. And now with sponsorship, I'm sure it's much easier. They're more open. In those days that I played, you had to earn your spot. You had to prove that you could play. I have had people come, I can't tell you, a number of people would come to me practice and I put their air underneath the pan to make sure I was playing. It was earning a position, not just because of gender, but also because of cultural differences. I became the captain because when in 2006 it was supposed to end, some of the kids who were from broken families didn't want it to end. And so the executives at that time decided, well, if you all want to continue, we're going to try to get it to continue. But what had happened is we had borrowed pans to play for 2006 from different pan yards, Starlive, Silver Stars, to name a couple. And we had to return them. So now to continue, you would have to be able to access or afford your own instruments. And this is where the CBL, Chinese Bicentennial Limited, that was formed for the arrival day, came into play, and were able to get corporate and Chinese associations to sponsor, to put money forward. We're able to buy us the equipment that we need. And so the band, when they got that together, they say, well, we need a captain, we need somebody who knows what it, and I was the most experienced Chinese player, having had what I'd call big band experience. I spend a lot of time with young people. That's the journey God took me under, and that's what I followed. That's probably, again, to understand that I am just doing what I do by the grace of God alone. I don't acknowledge He's given me ability. It's up to me to use that ability to the best that I could, and to help others and to give Him the glory, if that is the case. So I would say that is the only reason that this band is able to continue. There's really, I cannot see how this little band could be 13 years down the line and it's still going. And it's still going strong. What makes us different than any other steel band in Trinidad and Tobago is that we play Chinese music. Now, Chinese music coming from a Caribbean background, we play Chinese music with Caribbean and Latin American flavors. So the Chinese people simply love this music. We've taken their national songs and played it in soca rhythm. We play it in reggae rhythms. And they love it, they love it. And Chinese people not like us, they don't dance, they're not like Caribbean people. They will clap, and a major thing, cameras, phone cameras come out, and that you can see it on their face. And that is how they enjoy music. But the other thing that this band can boast is that we are the first all-Chinese steel band in the island, in the Caribbean, and presently in the world. I've had the band with more females than males, and then I've had the band with more males, and it switches. Right now, do we have more boys? No, actually, we have a little balance right now. But it depends on how the kids come and go, and I'm only 4th generation. My history now, I have to say, my days were very good. Get up and do it. I don't have time. I wait until I retire. That's the things you're getting. The kids too busy. They just get anything you want to do. You know that. We all know anything we want to do, we're going to very well make time. We have no money. Anything we want to do, we're going to find the money. Watch Carnival come and you'll see who don't have money, right? You will always prioritize. That is the first thing. The second thing is, you never know what you could do until you try. Anything you stick to, you will get better. But you have to spend the time on it. You can't just say, okay, vap, vap. Yes, ability does help. You will learn quicker. But that is not all what it's about.
Women have come a long way, yet there's still more to be achieved. For more information on International Women's Day 2019, visit our website at ttparliament.org and our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.